Today on Peliculas with the Bros, we review the movie Glass Onion, directed by Rian Johnson, and we have hot takes like
Knives Out is embarrassing.
Glass Onion is beautiful, but not good. What's up, bro?
What's up, bro?
And welcome everybody to the show. This is Peliculas with the Bros. My name is Adrian.
My name is Ivan.
And Peliculas with the Bros is a show where me and my brother Ivan talk about a movie every week. We talk about a new movie. Ivan, what's the movie of the week?
Glass Onion.
Glass Onion.
A Knives Out story.
Ooh, I like that. Gives a little branding, you know?
Yeah.
Nothing like IP branding in the modern age. Glass Onion, directed by Rian Johnson. Excuse me for coughing right into the mic. And we're going to talk about that movie today. But before we get into that, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. We are a show, a podcast of sorts, and we're on every week. If you like that kind of thing, look us up on YouTube or your favorite podcast platform, Peliculas with the Bros. Hit that subscribe button. Leave a like. Hit that smash. You know the things. Just do that kind of stuff. So, yeah. Peliculas with the Bros. We're on all podcast platforms. Look us up. We should be there. And lastly, let us know what you think about Glass Onion, a Knives Out story. Because we have opinions of our own. And maybe you think differently. Who knows? Right, Ivan?
Yeah.
But first, Ivan, get your summer attire ready because we're about to go on vacation in a rich guy's highly flammable house. Ivan, the movie's Glass Onion, a Knives Out story written and directed by Rian Johnson. The premise of this movie? Benoit Blanc is back, and he's kind of bored. You know, he's been at home with no murder to solve. But wait, what is this mysterious box that appears out of nowhere in the mail? An invitation to solve the murder of Miles Braun. Well, it's an invitation to his private island to solve a murder mystery game, and he ain't the only one invited. Braun's friends, an ex-business partner, a governor, a fashion designer, a video game streamer, a scientist, come to the island to have a killer time. Ivan, with the cast of Daniel Craig as Benoit Blanc himself, Edward Norton as Miles Braun, Janelle Monáe as Helen and Andy Brand, Catherine Hahn as Claire DeBella, Leslie Odom Jr. as Lionel Toussaint, Kate Hudson, the remarkable Kate Hudson, as Birdie J, Dave Bautista, our favorite, right?
Go on.
As Duke Cody, Jessica Henwick as Peg, and Madeline Klein as Whiskey. Ivan, Rian Johnson. Movies?
Go ahead.
Brick. Brothers Bloom. Looper. Star Wars The Last Jedi. No comment. Wow. Look at that face. Knives Out. And now we have this movie. He also directed key shows of Breaking Bad.
Okay.
Some of the best reviewed shows.
All right.
From that series. And he's coming out with a TV series on Peacock. Supposed to be like their
How the mighty have fallen, eh?
Come on, man. Their flagship series of like this year. Or at least for the first half of this year. Because oh man, he's laughing at him. And it's called Poker Face. It's starring Natasha Lyonne. Russian Doll, Netflix. Has that voice.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stick. Oh, what you doing, buddy?
Yeah.
You know, great actor. I love her. His movies to you. Speak on it. Oh, just a big old woof, right?
Yeah, I like Looper. I haven't seen the other ones besides Star Wars, but
And Knives Out.
yeah, and Knives Out. But I remember not liking Knives Out. I don't remember why. I feel like it would be the same reason why I don't like this. But I would have to rewatch to be certain.
Okay.
Know?
So you haven't seen Brick, Brothers Bloom?
Nope.
Cool. I've seen all of them except for Brothers Bloom. For some reason, I thought Brothers Bloom was like a
mid-90s?
No. Like a type of movie where it's like Van Helsing but funny.
Mm-hmm.
but I guess it's not that. I don't know why I was like, this guy made Brothers Bloom, a Van Helsing kind of story, but no, it's not that at all. I remember watching Brick because I was like, I want to know more about Rian Johnson's type of style, and it was very it was like a noir, but in like mid 2000s California with color, so it was a weird play on that, and it was very wordy, and it was unique enough to be like, oh, this guy seems interesting, has his own style, and I love The Last Jedi. I'm like one of the few stans out there who think The Last Jedi is probably the best Star Wars movie since probably Rogue One. And he's got a lot of flack for The Last Jedi. I know that you personally don't like The Last Jedi.
You know, Adrian.
Because we've talked about it before.
It's
an archive episode that no one will ever see, but go ahead.
It's sandwiched between two movies that are also polarizing.
Polarizing. Oh.
Polarizing.
You're going Joyzy on me.
Polarizing. So I feel maybe Last Jedi would have been good if 7 would have been better.
The Force Awakens?
Yes.
Okay. Sure.
Or if 9 would have been better. Like if they played on each other a bit better.
Okay.
But it's like 7, like, okay. And then for me, 7, okay. 8, like, where are you going? And then 9, they kind of backtrack.
Yep.
So it just makes this weird sandwich that doesn't make sense.
Okay.
Maybe in like a vacuum, if I could rewatch it with that mentality, I'll be like, okay, sure.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
I rewatched it today. Thank you for asking. And
how was I supposed to know?
And it was a movie that it's like the Star Wars series is so fucked up.
Yeah.
It's just like a whole tangled. Andor is like the corrective course, and hopefully things get better. But at that time, The Last Jedi was like trying to be something that seemingly no one wanted.
Mm-hmm.
No Star Wars fan wanted. But that's kind of hard to say because the loudest people are the people that criticize it. When I watched it today, what I noticed again is just like visually it looks amazing.
Yeah.
And like he knows how to do the filmmaking stuff.
Yeah.
Another thing I realized again is just like he likes to be naughty as far as like, oh, you like this? I'm going to do that.
Oh,
like you think that's
contrarian?
Yeah, you think this is interesting? Well, what if I tweak it a little bit?
Mm.
And that's like something you probably shouldn't do with people who like nerds who love their IP stuff. And maybe he wasn't suited for the Star Wars job. I mean, he's like my favorite Star Wars director, but
I think sometimes when there's a fan base like that, you have to give them like what they want. Even if it's like, I've already seen this sort of thing. Tangent, and I'll talk more about it later, but I saw The Last of Us show. And I saw The Last of Us show, and it's pretty much like shot for shot the same as the game.
Right.
The intro of it. But the game intro was pretty cinematic, so it wasn't like too much of a leap for like that change. But I can't think of a show off or movie off the top of my head, but often they get like the IP. They're like, we'll put our spin on it. We'll make it better. Because it was flawed before. But I think The Last of Us people realize like it's good. Like, why would we change it? Gamers would get mad if we changed it. So make it exactly how it was. And it worked. Like, as a show, like if anyone watched it, they'll see it as they'll be impressed, and then they won't even know it's from a game.
Right. So
I think for like Star Wars, they should have done something like that where they realize, look, they want lightsabers, they want the Force, they want this. Let's not be too weird about it. Let's do it by the book for like 7, 8, 9. And then probably for spin-offs or whatever, then they could be a little more, let's go off. Let's do whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a good point in there. One of my rebuttals is like, it's kind of apples and oranges with The Last of Us because that's more of an adaptation where the trilogy, the new Star Wars trilogy was
New.
whole new ground.
But they have books.
Sure, but they were retconning all that, basically.
But they didn't have to.
That's true. That's true. They didn't have to. But even The Force Awakens was like a retcon right there. And people were fine with that. Because it was, like you're saying.
Return to form.
Yeah, just give me my popcorn and I'll shut up.
I mean, I was fine with it. I was like, okay, return to form. 8 and 9 is going to be a little more like fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastical.
Mm-hmm.
But it went like the wrong direction, like the contrarian sort of. Well,
yeah, I don't know. For me, as like the type of film viewer that I am, I loved it. But like you're saying, I can see where if you're trying to please the masses, it's not the way to do it. And like honestly, it's kind of subtle. Like if you were telling a random person like how he subverts the Star Wars lore, if you were telling someone who's never watched Star Wars like what he does differently, they're like, well, that's not that bad. But for people, for diehards, and they shouldn't be diehards in the first place, for diehards, it was a bit too much.
I think, yes, they shouldn't be diehards, but there's always, you're never going to get rid of rabid fan bases. So I think for instances like that, like The Last of Us have rabid fan bases, like similar where.
Not as big, though.
No, but when Last of Us 2 came out, they were rabid because they assumed things about the story, and they're like, oh, this is corny.
Yeah.
This is wrong. When it came out, it was actually good.
Yeah.
So I think as not good as it is, you have to listen to fans. Like, I know you should make your own thing and put it out there, but when it's technically not like his, it's more like
the people's.
Yeah, something like that. That's when you have to cater to them a bit.
Damn, that sounds like religion to me. Like, oh, we can't mess with the religion, so.
Sounds like the Force to me.
Ooh. Again, back to his naughtiness as far as subverting stuff. That goes back to all his other movies. There's always some kind of like subversion, and he seems like the type of writer, because he writes and directs his movies, the type of writer who tries to put himself in compromising situations and write himself out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Or like it is very puzzly in nature, his writing style.
Right.
And I mean, he's now in the last two movies he's made, he's basically worked in the puzzle / mystery
Given up
format, you know? So it's like he's getting closer to like the actual genre that he writes in a way. Of course, for maximum effect, there it is. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And back to his like visual style, and it's something that Last Jedi has, and also the last two, Knives Out and this movie. They're just visually gorgeous.
Yeah.
And it goes back to what I've mentioned before and what I learned, like framing and blocking, which is basically like making sure a scene looks good as far as all the where people are placed, how certain props are placed, and how the scene looks like. He can do that pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's something that's important to him as a director, to do that kind of stuff. Ivan, here on Peliculas with the Bros, we like to look at how the sausage was made, and we're going to look at how Glass Onion was peeled, cut, and reformed into the movie that it is. Knives Out came out in 2019. It became the biggest movie
ever.
The biggest non-IP movie of new. It became the biggest original IP of 2019. Not based on anything, and it was like the biggest movie that year. That was not from a previous IP. And he made Knives Out inspired by Agatha Christie novels. Do you know anything about good old Agatha Christie?
I saw Murder on the Orient Express.
Ah, yes.
And I'm aware of like that genre of
Mm-hmm.
Clue sort of thing.
It's kind of fascinating, but um, kind of like duh to me that there's like this master writer of murder mysteries. It's just interesting that I'm barely like getting up to speed with it,
Mm-hmm.
and how much she impacted, like, I guess, the culture as far as the murder mysteries that were made after her.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many especially this movie and Knives Out pays homage to her novels, and Ryan himself states how much those novels inspired him. So there's Knives Out, makes a lot of money, biggest original IP of 2019. Bidding war happens for a series of these movies. All the high hitters, Amazon, Netflix, Apple, boatloads of money. Netflix wins out. It's like $250 for 2 movies.
Jesus.
And that's just like the money. Then the budget is different.
Oh my God.
So he wins that. Johnson is like, all right, let's do it. And he writes
$250. That's disgusting.
$250 for 2 movies.
It's disgusting.
This is like tied to like how much are streaming movies worth? Because back in the day, what you would do is, like, let's say it's 2000, right? You have a movie, you release it, it's called The Matrix, budget $40 million, makes $300 million in the box office. Makes $300 million in the box office. Half of that is going to the actual theater, right? So $150.
Mm-hmm.
Now you got to pay out everyone that made it, the budget of the movie, right? So now
Right.
it's $110. But DVD sales back then is where you really made your money.
Mm-hmm.
So you get your DVD sales. What is that? Like another $500 million.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, you can license out the movie to TV networks.
Okay.
Now what they're doing with Netflix and all these streaming, like, it's a one lump sum payment, and you pay Netflix paid $250 for this million, right? $250 for this series. Now they own those rights in perpetuity.
Mm-hmm.
So Ryan is never gonna get money if they release this in DVD,
Okay.
in Blu-ray, right? So all that money he's getting, sure, he's getting that money, but he loses all the rest of the money that could be made after.
Okay.
Can Netflix make money after this? Who knows? But they're gonna be a streaming giant for the rest of their years, and
Yeah.
Ryan isn't gonna get like $1 for every Netflix subscriber they get. But it's an interesting business model that we have no idea how it will play out in the next 20 years.
Right.
But he wrote this during COVID. There's obvious COVID signs that he wrote this movie during COVID. And yeah, that's basically it. He did play around with the idea of having Daniel Craig's character, Benoit Blanc, have a different accent in every movie, which I kind of would like.
Be weird.
He was saying, like, in this movie, he would have, like, I forgot. But imagine, like, one in English, one in French, that would be interesting. Like, just do something different. Ivan, what were your expectations for this movie before even watching it?
Low.
Really? Why?
I thought it would be good, like, technically, but I felt like I would come out of it mad. And I was right.
You were mad
Yeah.
coming out of it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll ask you that in a bit. I expected something good, too. I knew it was going to look beautiful. I love The Last Jedi. And I was like, Ryan's good. He can do it. Ivan, what'd you think of this movie?
It's good.
Oh, shiznit.
You like that one?
God, like, can you not bother me with that question?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I thought it was fine. What'd you think? It was just, it's good. Give me your hot take. You might as well do your hot take now.
It feels like he's showing off, like in a non-humble way. Like I got the same energy from Thor 3 where like Thor 4.
What?
Thor 4.
Can you just name it the right name?
Thor Love and Thunder.
Jesus, I hate that.
Jeez.
Like, it's so, I don't know why it's such a pet peeve. Though. It's like when you just doing with Star Wars, like Star Wars 7. I'm like, I don't know that off the top of my head.
I think our brains work different.
Yeah. One day we're gonna be like, I mean, Iron Man 57 was just like, it's where it was at, you know. It's where it was at. Iron Man 69. You're not that guy. You're not that guy, dude.
Graham cracker of a movie.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
What was
he thinks he's smart.
Oh yeah. I feel like it's because he got too famous or too rich too fast, too big too fast, sort of thing. Because I like Looper. Like that one felt humble. Like
Yeah.
this guy, he just likes the movie process. He wants to make something entertaining, something fun to make, etc. I didn't feel any like, oh, I'm better than you sort of thing.
Uh-huh.
This felt like the showing off of like just some cameos. I think like Ethan Hawke was in it for like 2 seconds. I was like, what's this? Is he important? Like, oh, he just has connects.
Okay.
That sort of thing.
Yeah.
Which like
that's something subtle though.
Yeah, but
what it's real, what do you think specifically is more of like a he thinks he's better than us as far as this movie goes?
I think like the plot itself, spoilers, but when at the end it's revealed like he's just an idiot sort of thing.
Yeah.
It just feels like he wants us to feel dumb. And I did feel dumb because like, oh, that's what it was. He was an idiot. Like, okay, that's funny, but like I feel like an idiot now. Like I feel like the idiot. Because I was like, he knows we're trying to analyze to see like, oh, let me get the clues and all that.
Right.
But in the end, he's like, he almost like talking to the audience, Daniel Craig.
Right.
Like,
when Daniel's like,
it's so stupid. Can't you guys see?
No, he's like, at the end, it was just so dumb.
Yeah, yeah. I was like, yep.
And then Kate Hudson's character, she's like, oh, that's smart. He's like, no, it's just dumb.
Yeah, that. It's like that character, Kate Hudson, is like playing the role of like the average audience member.
You think so?
I mean, I don't think literally he's trying to do that.
Okay.
But I think like it's in symbolism sort of way, like metaphors, seeing all that stuff. I could see like the average audience member saying like, it's kind of clever to do that.
Right.
And I get it. It is, but it's also, it feels demeaning.
Okay.
Like entirely.
That's interesting. That's a good take. It's a good take because I didn't necessarily feel that. But now that you're stating it, I do feel it more. But I don't really agree that the whole reveal didn't make me feel dumb. What made me feel like he thinks he's operating on another level is more so just like just trying to make a murder mystery, and it's inherently you have to write in that kind of egotistical way, like.
But I remember watching Murder on the Orient Express, and I didn't feel that.
Okay.
Like I was trying to figure it out, and at the end, have you seen it? Can I spoil it? Turns out like they're all in on it together.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, that's interesting, because like they were all somewhat like
motive and
opportunity. So I was like, who could have done it the most?
Yeah.
And then like they all did it.
Right.
And just how the movie was made, it didn't feel like I didn't feel stupid.
I've seen that movie actually now that you say it, but I completely forgot it.
Well,
Is it Johnny Depp in it?
I don't remember. He might be in the sequel. There's 2.
Okay.
I don't know.
No, the sequel is with your boy, the cannibal guy.
Timothy?
Chalamet? No. The real cannibal guy.
From
Armie Hammer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Social Network.
So bad. This is so weird. It's a good take. I like that. For me, I just felt like the movie is beautiful. It's beautiful because it's like in a beautiful location, and obviously we're dealing with Rian Johnson. He knows how to frame a shot, and he has like amazing costuming. Like a lot of the attire, you can tell the character who they are just by looking at what they wear.
But it was a little too costumey. Like,
I get that.
Like literally, like a costume, like a superhero costume.
But I think he has to do it because you're dealing with a movie rather than a show.
Mm.
And I'll talk about this later, but like where White Lotus has the opportunity to delve into characters, to dig into satire and like why people are the way they are. This movie only has 2 hours, right? And they have to do things quick and fast. And I think the costuming helps explain the characters a little bit more. And also it's like movies are supposed to, I think Ryan is, he understands that movies are supposed to be fun, you know? And they're sort of like, what is it? You have to suspend your disbelief. So, but I get your point. But yeah, everything looks beautiful. Wardrobe's amazing. But I just felt like the movie was dry. Like,
no soul.
It doesn't have any soul. It's hard to relate to any character because they're all like kind of
they're all kind of horrible people.
Was it they're all shitheads.
Yeah.
They're all shitheads. I
didn't like her character.
We'll talk about that. But yeah, it just felt hollow, which is interesting too cuz like did he make the movie for that purpose cuz like Glass Onion empty, like it's supposed to feel empty.
But then I would think Benoit wouldn't be like that.
Yeah.
And the Janelle Monáe character, if it, like everything else should have been, but those two, since they're pure, they should have had not a hollow feel.
Yeah, like let's talk about the characters in a bit. Let's first dive into the plot. Again, Miles Braun, he's the billionaire played by Edward Norton, owns a tech company. He invites his homies to his house, his dope island, for a murder mystery game. The reason he invites them is either because he needs something from them or they need something from him, right? Like there's this weird like incestual thing that combines them together. And the characters in this movie, Benoit Blanc's back as played by Daniel Craig. It doesn't really from Knives Out, we don't learn too much about him from what we already didn't. But I think it's kind of like hinted that he's gay, which I guess is like interesting in its own way. It's hilarious. I read something that people think that he's basically impersonating the chicken from Looney Tunes.
Oh.
I do say. I just thought
just the accent.
But ultimately, Benoit Blanc is just an amazing kind of character. He has so much like candor, like just the ability to talk, and like the words he uses is I kind of love it.
Yeah,
he's a great character.
Yeah.
I wish. It's interesting that you said that this movie, even though it feels hollow, like they do have characters that could be something.
I like him.
Yeah, he's good.
In this movie, just him though.
I like Birdie J. Because she has the most like
dumb
personality. She's dumb, but at least she's like trying to show her personality.
I guess.
My one big gripe with all these characters is like there's not enough time to dive deep. Only basically Miles Braun and Benoit Blanc and
Janelle
Monáe's character, Andy and Helen. And when the movie started, the Andy character played by Janelle Monáe, she was super quiet. I'm like, so is she just like not gonna do much in this movie?
She's stupid or something?
Like halfway through, she has not said anything, and she's the black sheep of like the group. They're all saying like, oh, she was like the ex-business partner and all that. And then the Helen character comes out, and I'm like, okay, I get why she was so quiet in the beginning, obviously, without spoiling anything. But I like you're saying, I didn't really connect to that character. The southern comfort character who's supposed to be like, kind of like gut instinct. Like I know things are wrong because I just feel it type of character. I don't know. It didn't hit.
I think it's because she can't act.
You think it's that? I don't think it's that. What makes you feel that? Give me an example. Come on.
I don't know. My example is her.
No.
Herself.
Nope.
What do you mean?
Like, give me an example of her that you felt like, oh, it feels like she can't act.
I just don't think she can act as well as like anyone else on that. Maybe.
Oof.
Like compare 1-to-1, like Dave Bautista, those are out. Like with comparative work. But is this her first movie too?
No, she's had like 5 or 3.
But still, I think if she could really act, I wouldn't think this way about her. Like how am I don't think I'm supposed to be like annoyed by her character by the end. I should be a little more sympathetic and into her life and care about her.
Mm-hmm.
Like I care about Benoit,
mm-hmm.
and I care more about Dave Bautista. Like he's like second place.
You might have a point. I think I do think maybe the way the character was written, there's something there. Like there is the part where she's describing when it's revealed she's actually the Helen character, and Janelle Monáe is like giving this big dialogue about like what she found out herself, and she describes Miles Braun's friends as shitheads, and I feel like that was so emphasized that it seemed like the director had Johnson was like, when she says this, it's gonna sound so good, but when she said it, it just felt flat.
I think it's because like her situation is so serious. Like her sister got murdered.
Yeah.
And she's there to figure it out. Like in real life, that would be a pretty traumatic, emotional state to be in.
Yeah.
And then when you say shithead played for laughs, it's like, what am I supposed to feel? It feels weird to laugh at that.
Right.
Because I know what she's going through. Like, or what she's supposed to be going through. So it's just like, what's the word? Like improper feelings.
Yeah.
Like it's
the
too
tone.
mixed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mismatched tone.
Yep. I can see that. Move your mic. Bottom lip. Speak.
Arf.
Are you comfortable?
Yeah.
Okay. Talk again?
Hello.
Okay. And then all these characters, right? Claire DeBella, Lion Toussaint, like those two characters specifically, played by Catherine Hahn, Leslie Odom Jr. They're the governor and the scientist. I feel like they're empty. Like I know they're archetypes of characters. One's like a Karen and a governor at the same time. One's like a brilliant scientist who's like warning the Miles Braun character to be careful. But other than that, they're just kind of flat.
Yeah. I think, what's her name? The governor lady?
Claire DeBella.
She had moments where like she acted like well. Where, like I could see like, oh, there's some real anger in there. And I felt that.
There's the white mom anger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With like obviously she sucks, but if you can show that anger well, like I could kind of sympathize with them.
Mm-hmm.
But the brilliant scientist, he felt like purely like a chess piece. Like he's there to explain why this won't work. Like really, you didn't need him at all.
Yep.
And like just completely melted away. Like I will not remember this man.
Yeah, it's a good point. Like I felt the same way. I think Birdie J and Duke Cody, Kate Hudson and Dave Bautista were two of the stronger characters.
Yeah.
They're also more flamboyant, which helps, like they're more out there as far as character, how they're written and stuff. One's a supermodel turned fashion designer. One's a video game streamer. He's like Andrew Tate. You know Andrew Tate? He's like an Andrew Tate clone kind of guy.
I don't like that either. Like that obvious metaphor for what like their in real life counterparts.
Why?
just feels like
Easy.
yeah, like let's make fun of Andrew Tate because he's funny sort of thing.
Well, they do.
It's like the Donald Trump stuff.
Yeah.
Like, all right, we get it. He sucks. Let's do something that nobody's thought of.
But the reason he's doing that is because he wants to talk about our culture.
Yeah.
Like he wants to make fun of our culture, which is.
But we already make fun of the things he's making fun of.
But that doesn't mean someone shouldn't do it. He has the right to try his own take.
Yeah, but I think if you want to do something that like changes people or evolves people, you have to make fun of the thing nobody wants to make fun of.
No. I mean, yeah, that too. But like people sometimes look at Andrew Tate and like, oh, he has a good point. But the point of this movie is like, let's find the flaws in his thinking and like the ridiculousness of his thinking.
But I think he's too like Dave's character in this. It's too shallow to find those flaws.
That's a good point.
It's just maybe you need a show of him, but I don't want a show of him.
Yeah.
It's just not enough time. It's not the right time sort of thing.
I feel like this is we'll talk about this later, but I was going to say this later. Maybe I should just say it now. This movie is probably like not our type of movie. Cuz it's so genre. It is genre, you know? And genre movies, I think you've said it too, like you're done with them.
I mean, I like superhero movies.
I don't think you do.
Take that back.
No. Genre movies are too on the nose, and that's something you don't like.
Oh, like when we're talking about blending everything.
Yeah, like you've always said, like you don't like that, and this movie is on the nose for everything almost. But there's obviously layers to it. You can dig deep into that too. But layers, I do say.
Like the metaphor of a glass onion.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Glass onion.
But yeah, I just think that this movie isn't our type of movie. Like this movie isn't made for us.
Hot take.
Yeah. Another one? We'll redo the whole segment. Okay, go.
I think that's true, but it's because we watch so many movies, we could see like the nuances between genres, and we see like all the blend. Like we prefer the blend because we've seen it all basically.
Oh man, haven't we? We're cinephiles.
So when it's blended, it's like there's some skill there.
Yeah.
There's someone who's like trying to do something really hard and difficult.
Yep.
But with this, it's a lot more mainstream oriented, because I think if you're not into the movies at all, you'll be like, I want to watch something fun. And then you explain what Knives Out is. Like, it's a murder mystery. Like, that's
fun.
That's something I remember what it like.
Yeah.
It's familiar.
Yes.
Which is what people want.
Yes.
So it's for the mainstream.
Yeah. But it's not like Black Adam mainstream.
Well,
Cuz like he could have taken this another way, made it even dumber, simpler, and like not as nuanced, cuz like arguably Benoit Blanc's character and what he's doing in this movie is very like nuanced, and like how he talks, it's different.
Yeah.
But you're right, it is still for the mainstream.
But
You think people out there are waiting for that butt? Like,
yeah.
like, oh, here it goes, here it goes.
Oh, they're waiting for the butt. Even though it is for the mainstream, it feels like I don't think that should be anyone's goal. But money, but this, but that.
It's actually something interesting that I read on his Twitter account, Rian Johnson. He's like, you can watch this movie in like, he named like a bunch of countries on Netflix right now, stream it however you like. I think that's something that's very intriguing to him, like to be
mass audience.
Yeah, to be able to just like go right to the masses, like bam, right there.
He wants approval. That's what it is, huh?
I don't know if it's approval, because like he's like I said, back to the thing. He's the guy that likes to subvert things. And that's something that you can see in this movie too, because like think about it. How many people think Andrew Tate, how many 18-year-old kids are like, yeah, Andrew Tate has a point?
Not enough.
How many people think that Elon Musk is an amazing person? Maybe he is, I don't know. I don't have enough info. and all like Kim Kardashian, Birdie J, you know, like all these characters, they have similar people archetypes that people can relate to. And if he's trying to go right to the masses and say, "Fuck your idol," then maybe that's punk rock in itself, you know.
But
It's just not made for us.
I just think there's smarter ways to do it, and I don't think Ryan is capable. Or if he is, I think he's too into. Like this is me just reading into him without ever meeting him.
Yeah.
But he's too into the mainstream like praise of like Knives Out, first standalone, first new IP that people love, sort of thing.
Yep.
And he got like a whiff of that, and he's like, "Ooh, 250 million worldwide praise. What else do I need to do with this life? That's all I need."
I don't agree with that.
You don't think he's like that?
No, because I don't feel like he's making this movie dumb.
No.
I mean, go ahead. Sorry.
I think it's well made.
Okay.
Like,
yep.
In every way, like it's good.
Yep.
But it just like, if I just come out of it thinking I'm dumb, I don't think that's right.
Okay.
Like I think the
words, baby, words.
it's because okay, I watched The Whale.
Okay.
And
no spoiler at all.
Okay.
Just what you took away.
Yes. We're talking about not feeling dumb, right?
Yep.
Because he wants us to learn from this, like see these people and realize, oh, they're bad. And then he wants us to grow, realize, oh, Andrew Tate sucks. Oh, Kim Kardashian sucks, right?
Yep.
I think if you're doing that and then you make us feel dumb, we're not going to want to change. But like with The Whale, he's going through something that I think people can relate with, which is not exactly eating disorder, but just like an addiction to something. And I think if you watch The Whale, you'll come out of it not feeling dumb for.
But it's completely different.
Hold on.
Because there's no reveal in The Whale. There's no like, oh, he's obese because of this.
There is.
Well, sure, but it's not like that's not the main thing of the movie. The thing of the movie is a character-driven like drama.
Mm-hmm.
This movie is like it's a murder mystery. He's trying to find ways. Like in that case, you hate Christopher Nolan.
Go on.
Christopher Nolan is like the guy that would make you feel the dumbest for like how many little. He's like, oh, you didn't see this though, right? When I went that way.
I think Christopher Nolan is like he wants to show how smart he is, sort of thing.
That's the same thing, right? Like
no, this one is like he wants to show how dumb you are.
That's like very
nuanced.
Yeah, like what's the little difference?
One is like, all right, you're smart, we get it, and then two is like, we're not that dumb. Like it's watching someone say like, go like this versus watching someone like, oh, you suck, sort of thing.
Mm. But I guess the difference is because like he's operating in satire too.
Mm-hmm.
Rian Johnson right now operating satire, and the idea is like you're supposed to say certain people are dumb.
But White Lotus, that's like satire, like premium.
Yeah.
And if you and it's a beautiful show too.
Yeah.
And I know it's a show, you get more time. But if they do satire that well, like there's already a bar. And then when you watch Knives Out, it's like, this isn't White Lotus. I get they're trying to satirize our world, but White Lotus does it so much better.
It does it so much better. That is true. I can't argue against that. But it's easier to do when you have
watch 2 episodes of White Lotus, 1 movie equivalent, and it's already better satire. And a lot of the episodes, they could be standalone with like open-ended things.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard because like they're operating in 2 different formats. Like when you give someone 10 hours versus 2 hours, it's completely different.
But I think if the White Lotus director did a movie, he would do it. Like if he did the Knives Out, that would be. He could do it easily, and it wouldn't. Yeah.
No, because then you're like, okay, all right, Mike White. Instead of 7 hours, you have 2 hours to do the same kind of to impact as much. He's like, all right, then I'm gonna cut out half the cast. Yeah. I'm gonna have 2 people. He's like, no, you have to do it with 6 people again.
I think he could. He would have to change things. Like it's about filling the form, and I think if you can't, then you're not that good. It's like the constraints. Like 2 hours. Let's see what I could do. And I think if you're really talented, you could do like Amadeus when like, okay, go upside down, play the piano, and then he like plays it perfectly.
Yes. Yeah.
Like that constraint should like destroy everyone, but someone who's actually that good can just like it's nothing. It's harder, yeah, but he's so talented. He makes it work.
I like that. There's another reason why this movie doesn't feel as good, but it's not my take, so I'll talk about it later. Let's see. Couple things, like some of the themes, other than like the absurdity of wealth. Miles Braun, the billionaire, he has this key speech where he talks about disruptors.
I like that.
That's the part you liked?
I mean, I liked it.
That was good, right?
Yeah.
Come on. Yeah, there it is. Who'd you think about when he was talking about,
like Elon Musk?
Okay. I thought Kanye.
Oh, it's probably partly inspired by Kanye too.
Yeah. And the idea is like, Miles Braun goes on the speech about disruptors and how disruptors are people who break the system, who do things that other people wouldn't do. When people say don't do it, and they do it.
Like Rian Johnson.
They do it, and it turns out to be the right way to do things sometimes. And he says, like, people don't want you to actually break the system, which is an interesting take. Like they say, like, be revolutionary, but they don't actually want you to be that revolutionary. And it was an interesting like monologue, which I like somewhat agree with. But then the Benoit Blanc character says, he's like, speaking without thought isn't speaking the truth. And I thought that was like a hit straight at Kanye, where it's like,
yeah,
just because you think it doesn't mean it's true.
I feel like I've had this like thought of, this is like side tangent, but like taking the time to think of like someone, you have something hard to tell somebody, and instead of just blurting it out, you could interpret it as like manipulative if you stop and think and like, how can I best say this without saying it wrong? And
so
like,
that's manipulative?
Technically.
Okay.
But if it makes both parties better in the end for you to be manipulative, like how bad is it? Like there's a goodness to manipulation where it doesn't even turn into manipulation. It's like just like being an ambassador.
Right.
So something like that.
It's almost what's best for everyone.
Yeah. Instead of just saying the truth.
Yeah.
And it's still the truth. You're just wording it better.
Yeah. I never thought about that as manipulation, but it is in its own way.
Like in a vacuum, the word manipulation, it's like the movement of things.
Yeah.
But I think
like whenever you're trying to, is it like whenever you're trying to convince someone to your idea, is that manipulation?
I think technically.
Or isn't manipulation distorting the truth for your gain?
It's also that.
Then in that case, it's wording something for someone specifically isn't manipulation. It's just like so they can better understand it.
But there's a gain in wording it perfectly because you don't get any hits from them.
True, but as long as you're not lying, is it still manipulation? Or maybe that's not in the manipulation.
I think there's just different types of manipulation.
Right. That's a good point. Then there's also the Mona Lisa in this movie, which I think
got annoyed. I don't know why. I'm still unraveling that in my psyche.
It's I think it's like the idea. There's like two things. One I'm gonna steal and I'm gonna credit them, but one is like that I just picked up on from watching it is the idea of immortality. That so there's the Mona Lisa that Miles Bron has in his own private island because he's renting it from the Louvre because they're short on money. So he's like, oh, he's so rich that he can rent it. And it's protected behind like a bulletproof glass, and the glass opens and closes when it's hints, and it hears like a loud.
That was
noise.
weird to me. Like, why didn't the voices turn it on or something?
Yeah.
Like, I thought there would be something more with the reasoning behind the chick chick.
Right. With a button that unlocks it and opens it.
Like, the button made sense because at the end
there's a button. Sorry for all of those people who hasn't watched it or doesn't understand. There's a button in the movie that opens the Mona Lisa's security and brings down the bulletproof glass.
Yeah. And that made sense. I was like, oh, they're going to probably do something later with it. But then when it was just...
And it did.
Yeah. When it was just going off to go off, I'm pretty sure it was played for, like, humor's sake. Humor, comedy.
It's also tension. Because, like, you hear it in the background and you're like, something's going to happen.
I guess. But even that kind of feels manipulative.
Oh, yeah, it's art. He's trying to make you feel a certain way.
I guess. But I don't know. I need more time to reason why I don't like it.
There's also the other take that I got is like it's from a podcast called The Big Picture, and the host Sean Fennessy was saying he thinks so. Spoiler alert: the Mona Lisa gets burned in this movie, and he thinks like the idea is just like the Last Jedi, and just like his tendency to be naughty. He wants to destroy the thing that people hold most dear.
Okay.
Rian Johnson. And by destroying the Mona Lisa in the movie, it's like basically like all
he's
these
disruptor.
Things he's a disruptor. All these things that you hold dear doesn't really matter.
I get
and
that.
I don't really care about them, and I don't really care what you think about them.
That seems like cruel, like a cruel mentality. Just because, like it's fine to have like sentimental value over things. Like you could just, I could just like that cup, and if someone breaks it, like obviously it's just a thing. But if I told you I really like that cup, and you're like, right? You're like, what the heck? I told you I liked it. Why'd you do that?
Right. But he plays it a little differently in this movie because it's more like a ha-ha towards Miles Bron, who's been a dick, right? And for The Last Jedi, he wasn't necessarily saying, like, let's burn the scrolls to make you feel bad. He was trying to burn them because he's like, no one reads them. It's time for something new. It's time for some new, fresh blood. Like, it's not, we shouldn't do the same thing over and over. Like, let's switch it up and not be so tied to the Bible, basically.
I agree, but you have to figure out a way how to do that without angering them. And
I disagree with that. You don't have to.
I think a skilled person could. Because I feel like Star Wars 7, 8, 9 should have ended, or 9 should have ended with them finding like the middle ground, like the what's between light and dark, the middle side.
You mean the gray? The
gray, yeah. Find the gray side. Realize everything's not black and white, because that was the big issue with. This is like somewhat into theory territory, but with 1, 2, and 3, the prequel trilogy, a big thing was that, well, the Force is there has to be a balance, right? And then 1, 2, and 3, it was mostly Jedi. Like they had all the power.
Yep.
So that flip to 4, 5, and 6, that's the Force rebalancing everything. But then they went way too into the dark side, and then it had to flip back, right? It's just the Force finding balance. I'm just going by what the Force means.
Sure.
So I think, ideally, a good end to the non-illogy.
Ivan, you're gonna make me throw up so many times in this. You're Miles Braun. You're Miles Braun.
I'm a disruptor. Would have been finding the gray side and realizing, let's not all be, because there was issues with Jedi in 1, 2, and 3. Like they wouldn't take any advice. They would be like, you can't, like with Anakin, like you can't be a Jedi if you have a mom. Like, what kind of religion is that? Like, how cruel is that?
I mean, he turned to Darth Vader. Were they kind of right?
But because they had that rule.
True. That's true.
So there's issues with the light side.
No.
There's no issues with the light side?
No to your whole argument.
Okay.
Because art, you can do whatever the hell you want.
Yeah.
And Rian Johnson's like, I get that. Maybe I should have done it the easy way. Maybe I should have put some lubrication before I punch you in the face. But he's like, no, I'm just going to burn these scrolls. And if you don't like it, maybe that's what I want you to feel. Maybe I want you to feel some anger. Maybe I want to push you, nerd, out of your chair and stop reading Wikipedias. Push you out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
But this movie wasn't that good. It just felt like I had no fun with it.
Yeah.
Like, even like you're saying, even though it was like kind of smart, kind of and I said it was beautiful. All that said, like I'm just felt like a little dry. Like I'm like, it's okay. Didn't stick to me. I have here White Lotus comparison, Knives Out comparison. Knives Out. Do you remember anything about it? I hardly remember anything about
Not
it.
really.
But not my type of movie, and I think I said that earlier. Ivan, I'm gonna read a New Yorker review for you by our esteemed guest Anthony Lane. Welcome, Anthony Lane. What would you like to say? Regarding Glass Onion, a Knives Out mystery, I would say for this extravagant but none too sturdy film, it is shiny with mischief, crafted with guile, and performed with eager wit. Why then should the whole enterprise feel so curiously thin and cold to the touch? The clue lies in Agatha Christie. Her gang of suspects in A Murder is Announced was a mixture of young and old, as it was in Knives Out, which was thoroughly warmed by the friendship, fond and non-creepy between an elderly author and his nurse. Another anonymous shout out. No such goodwill exists in Glass Onion, which is stiff with unlikable souls, all of them Miles' pals, and thus of the same generation. Frankly, who cares who assassinates whom? It's a good point, right? Like, none of the characters they're all diverse as far as like what they do, but they're all of the same age. None of them are likable in their own way. There's no sympathetic character other than Benoit Blanc in a way.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I guess, the Helen character. But that kind of steals it from its soul, I guess. Like, you can't attach yourself to a movie with people who you don't really like.
Yeah.
And I agree with this guy, Anthony. Ivan, it's time to rate this movie. Out of 5 glass onions. Oh, man, that fit perfectly. How many glass onions is this?
3.5.
I approve. 3.75 out of 5 glass onions. Ivan, that's it for Glass Onion. What's the next movie? I'll let you pick. Bardo, White Noise, or The Whale?
The Whale.
Okay, The Whale it is. You're ready for that, right? Ivan, it's time for a section called Things... Wait, what? Ivan, it's time for a section called...
Things and Such. You don't even know how to do it. You can't do it like me.
I can't do it like me.
Don't. Oh, I remember the song.
Ivan, happy birthday, bro.
Come on.
It was Ivan's birthday yesterday, January 16th. Shout out to all the January 16th birthdays, but Ivan's birthday was January 16th. What do you have to say to the beautiful people?
Another day.
Another $1? Damn.
Just a day.
Just a day. Ivan, another amazing news. I'm having a girl.
Second, like, ranking in news. Like, my birthday.
Yeah, obviously. Your birthday, and then your 26th birthday is obviously more important than me having a girl.
Yes.
Yeah, because every year, you don't turn 26 every year.
People are born every day. I only turned 26 once.
I mean, how much great work was created on the 26th birthday of artists? Like,
I don't know.
we have to look into it. Maybe this is your year. You know what I mean?
Could be.
I'm having a girl.
Yes.
What do I feel? Thanks for asking. I feel happy. I'm gonna probably stop listening to hip hop that denigrates women, and I'm gonna be.
What if it was a boy? Would you not have?
I'm gonna double down on my hip hop consumption. If it was a boy,
If it was a boy, you would stop listening to violent hip hop. Girl, hip hop that denigrates women.
like either way, I was gonna stop listening to the 21 and Drake album. Cause like I can't listen to 21 because if it's a boy, like violence. If it's a girl, I can't listen to Drake because like feminism. So
Right.
now, either way, the album's gone from me. But yeah, I'm gonna be a feminist, and things are on the up and up for me.
Okay.
Golden Globes happened this past weekend. Two key takeaways. Ki Ui Kwan,
Yeah.
he won for Best Supporting Actor for Everything Everywhere All
Good.
at Once. And what was interesting was his speech where he's like, Spielberg was there and he's like, I come from a place where you don't forget where you come from. I was raised to be taught that you don't forget where you come from and who gave you your first start. And Spielberg, shout out to you, man. And he was trying it this whole time. Obviously, he wasn't talking like my dumbass. And he's like, Spielberg, shout out to you. And Spielberg was like, yeah. And then he's like, in the 80s, when I was in the movie Indiana Jones, I thought I was so happy. I felt so lucky. But in the past 30 years, I just felt like, was that it?
Mm-hmm.
Have I reached my peak at a young age? And then this movie came out, and I just want to thank the directors. The directors are all crying, the Daniels. And he's like, I love you guys. Thank you for always for believing in me and for making my dreams come true. I was like, damn, this guy. What a comeback.
Just like appreciative. Like you don't see that too much.
Yeah. And I have like a YouTube clip on our Peliculas with the Pros account where we talk about Ki Young Kwan, and when I was like, do you know who it is? And you're like, no, I don't know who he was, because we watched the movie. And I was like, it's Tom Cruise. You're like, oh, a real jokester here. I was like, no, it's the guy from Indiana Jones. And you're like, Indy. And I was like, I don't know. And then I was like, and he's also from the Goonies. And you're like, oh, the Goonies, that's it? Like, don't even talk about the Goonies. And someone commented. But in any case, that clip is getting like boosted right now.
Oh, no.
We have like, it was our most viewed video already, and now it's getting like boosted even more because of the recents.
Now with the whale coming out, this is where we skyrocket, Adrian.
Ivan, this is where we skyrocket. Lastly, Jennifer Coolidge, she also won for her role in
Deserved. White Lotus.
White Lotus. Have you heard her speech? Hers was good too. She was like, she's basically like the same person.
Yeah.
And she was so funny. Everyone was laughing. Like
wasn't like her neyghbors started talking to her?
Yeah. Like I'm so happy because my neighbors finally started talking to me.
That's crazy.
She's so good.
Yeah.
Like she's the same person.
Yeah.
And she's amazing.
Yep.
Shout out to her. Ivan, Avatar 2 is now the 5th biggest movie of all time.
Good.
It needs like another 100 or 200 million to beat Titanic to move into 4. And it probably won't reach 3, 2, or 1.
It's fine.
But they're making the 4 or 5 avatars. Shout out to how you reference movies. What do you think about that?
Good. Good
Like
news.
that?
Yep.
Okay. It's time for a section called What's on the Telly?
I got a list.
Give it to me.
I've been watching movies rambunctiously.
Rampantly.
No, rambunctiously. Let me find my little listy list.
Spit on some wine for today's episode. Shout out to all my long-time listeners where I used to sip on wine. I've been used to sip on some tequila every once in a while. Now it's soda water.
Did I talk about Banshees of Inisherin?
Mm-mm.
I watched that like 2 weeks ago.
Mm.
I skipped it because like I always see the 20% and then 10%. Like, oh, let me.
Mm-mm.
But I watched that.
Oh,
wow!
skip it again, baby.
Next time, I guess.
No one understands what we're talking about, but just keep going. Okay.
Okay. It was good. It was. It went a different way than I thought it would. I thought it would be a little more like simple,
Yep.
like just friends fighting.
Yep.
But like with the fingers lost,
Yep.
and
Yeah.
it was fun to see that relationship evolve.
Colin Farrell is my boy now. Like, I didn't know he was my boy, but after this movie, I'm like, damn, this guy's my boy.
He has like pretty crazy range. For,
Yes.
like an actor who's kind of from like the old world of acting.
Yeah, like a Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
He's like a Tom Cruise acolyte.
Yeah. Like a movie star.
Yeah.
He's kind of in that.
But that was the weird thing because, like, they try to make him a movie star, and he just didn't pop.
Mm.
But he has that, like, face where it's like, damn, this guy's sexy. Like,
Yeah.
he should be the guy.
Yeah. But it was good. I liked it a lot.
And, spoiler alert, that's going to come up in a new episode where we talk about our top 10 movies of the year.
That's not on my list because I only used movies that we actually.
Well, you're a horrible person, obviously, but keep going.
I mean, I could edit it on the
You
fly.
probably should. Go ahead. Keep going.
I saw Wedding Crashers.
Okay.
Kind of unrelated in any way. But, like, I've been getting myself to just watch a movie, like, whatever.
Right.
So, like, you know how you, like, go through movies, like, I don't feel like it, and then you end up
Add it to my list.
stuff like that. But now it's like I go through things, I'm like, and that there's like that snap feeling where like, oh, I would really want to watch that. But then right after it's like, I don't know, do I have enough time to do this, all that? But now like I do that, go through movies, and then the second I feel that, I'm like, okay, I'll watch it.
Uh-huh.
I'm getting a little better with that.
Okay.
So Wedding Crashers.
Okay.
It's pretty good.
Hold on. Let me...
Relive the movie.
2 characters.
Yeah.
What's not the tall guy. Who's the other guy?
Owen Wilson.
Broken Nose? Yeah. Yeah, I need to rewatch it because I barely remember it. I just know that there's like some like laugh out loud scenes.
It's a little dated. Like the humor is a little like, all right, this could be a little compromising if it was made today.
Yeah.
But it had heart, like the movie itself. Like
yeah, there was like that one girl, like the guy that was the most player. He found the girl that was like the craziest.
Yeah.
And they fell in love, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is funny. But it was good.
Okay.
I liked it. I'll start with older ones, and
'Kay.
then because I watch newer movies too. I watched Pride and Prejudice.
Ooh.
Tom Momsgams.
Ivan. Boom. Damn. How was it seeing the Tominator in that movie?
It's pretty weird because he's like
Opposite.
yeah, like a heartthrob. Everyone loves him. He's like suave, cool, but in like Succession's like ew him sort of thing.
Yeah.
But he's like a blocky looking guy, so it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Like it's almost hard to picture him being like
You almost couldn't take it.
yeah, but he's just like such a good actor. And
Keira Knightley.
yeah, great movie.
I was thinking for that. Great movie?
Great movie.
Jesus Christ.
Yes, I liked it a lot.
Character? Is that why?
Yeah, it's just interesting to see like because it's like they're both into each other, but like they deny it at first, and they're like they say that yeah, but it's not like corny.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah, it's not like a rom-com.
Yeah.
I mean, like just like a corny romantic movie. It's just
yeah, and then it's interesting to see how it was back then, because there's like the whole like you have daughters so they could be married off to a rich person, and that was just
the
dowry.
dowry. Yeah.
And it's funny to see like Like they're all thinking about it. The mom, like their daughter runs away for some reason. And then she's like, my family will never live this. None of you will be wed again because of what she did to our family.
Yep.
It's like, Jesus, that's how it was.
Yep.
It's just good.
For a cornier, cheesier, but still consumable modern version of that. Watch Bridgerton. All those people. All those people out there who hasn't watched Bridgerton. Yeah. You shouldn't watch Bridgerton. You wouldn't like it.
Yeah. But if you like that aesthetic.
Yeah. If you like a poppy version of that, watch Bridgerton.
Yes. Next. I saw The Whale, but we'll talk about that.
Okay.
And then I saw Living. Do you know what that is?
Living?
It's with the actor from Pirates, Davy Jones, the squid guy.
Uh-huh.
That actor. It's set in 60s London.
No, I haven't seen it.
I only know it because I watched the Actors Roundtable.
Yes.
Those videos, and he was in it with like Brendan Fraser, all those guys.
It's a new movie?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's about a guy who realized this like clerk in like a county office in England, and their whole thing is like these ladies come in, they want to build a park. Like, oh, you have to go through waterworks first. Like, go to the water department in the building. They go there. Oh, you have to go to a different department first, and that's like the cycle of that place. And then the main character is kind of like the head guy of his department. Mm-hmm. And then when the ladies finally come to him, like, well, I don't know what to do exactly, so we'll just leave it in the pile. There's no harm in that. And then it just stays in the pile. And that's like the cycle of his work. But then he finds out he's going to die. He's like, I should probably do something real with my life. Uh-huh. And it's just him figuring out, like, actually doing his job.
Okay.
It's good.
Not as good as Pride and Prejudice?
It's different. It's very like a heartwarming movie. Okay. More like seeing what actually matters in your life. Because the dude's like 70 or 80.
Yeah.
He's like an old guy. But I don't know, just like it's a sad story. But in the end, like he ends up being happy with what he did, just like making that little park. Mm-hmm. It's good.
Okay. That's a good list. I think you watched it too. White Noise.
I didn't finish it.
Bardo.
I have 20 minutes left. I don't know if I'm strong enough.
They're not in my top 10. I like the White Noise better. Bardo was. I watched it like. I really need to like sit down in the movie theater to watch that kind of movie.
Bardo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'll get distracted easily and it's very episodic. But it's I guess in a simple way, it's not really my type of movie. But I like that he took that kind of swing. But the movie's not made for anyone. Like no one's gonna like that kind of movie.
I think it's definitely made for himself. But almost selfishly.
Yeah.
Like he just really wanted to make this movie about his life.
Yeah, I there's a lot of people that say that he's like very egotistical before this movie, and now that I'm what?
This proves it.
This movie kind of proves that for me, but a lot of people are like anti Inarritu, which is interesting. Like they didn't like The Revenant. They thought it was like kind of cheesy.
Okay.
But that's a whole different thing. White Noise, I really liked. I really like White Noise because like the way it looked, and I'm down for something different where things are just like wordy. And I know you were thrown off by like the kids.
I'll probably finish it, but
kids speaking.
Yeah.
The issue is like the ending. The latter half is worse than the first half for me.
Oh my god.
But the end scene, the end credits are really good.
Okay.
Everyone likes that.
When it's finally over. Oh, thank God.
But it is interesting. Like I am interested in reading the book that it's based on.
Right.
And I know it's like basically the same kind of thing.
Yeah.
Just like all the books that I haven't read that people see as like cultural touchstones that I'm just like, oh, I'm barely starting to read, guys. Like I barely learned English. That's it. It's time for a section called Really Be Bussin'. Honestly, I have nothing.
There's been nothing.
Yeah. Beginning of the year is always tough on music. We should, let's stop focusing on hip hop.
I've been on that, buddy.
No, but you always you go to I don't listen to hip hop. I'm like, well, you don't have to talk about hip hop. We can talk about anything.
Oh, but nothing new.
True. Yeah. But I'm just saying for this year, let's
so whatever I'm listening to?
Yeah, whatever, maybe.
Ever heard of Clowncore?
Here we go.
Come on, Adrian.
He's gonna come with what's called the Insane Clown Posse.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, I'm like, God damn, you're 50 years too late.
Yeah.
Now, I guess we could do a documentary style, where it's the history of clowncore is
clowns and core.
No, I want to do if good new music's coming out, Pitchfork gives a album a 9.4, and it's country, we gotta listen to it.
Okay.
Maybe that will help spruce up this section because hip hop is dead. It's disgusting. All right. We'll be back next week with The Whale, Ivan's new favorite movie, obviously. I heard not so good things about it.
You're a liar.
No, seriously. I heard good things about it, but the people in the know are it's not that good.
I don't know, Adrian. These people, I don't know what they're thinking.
Next week, The Whale. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Rate, review, subscribe. Peace out.
Bye.